Hey guys, welcome back to the video. As you can see the title, we are going to start with cryptography now. We have finished networking concepts, the basic networking or understanding of the how internet works. Now a very important subject, I would say, a small subject, but it have a lot of in-depth concepts in it. So very important, again the name is cryptography. All right, how the whole internet works, how the whole system, basically the trust in the system is built. Okay, if I ask you why do you trust internet, okay, so basically it have the control is in the tech giants. Okay, big companies are controlling the how data are being processed, how we can communicate with each other. So it is all about trust. We have to trust the internet on how it is working. That is the reason WhatsApp is saying that it is encrypted. Okay, it is claiming that it is encrypted. No one can read the data in between while it is traveling. All right, so we trust internet, and we try to communicate with each other through internet. All right, so behind that trust, what are the algorithm that we are trusting? So that is the whole subject of cryptography, and let's see today how it is working. All right, so let's start. So intro to cryptography, building trust in the digital world. As I said, it is all about trust. If we don't trust this network, then we would not communicate in any application or in any tool. The basic principle is we have to trust the tool or the system. All right, so why cryptography? Again, before starting, we have to ask this why. Because it keeps messages private and unaltered. Whatever you are sending some messages through any system, it is private in nature. Okay, nobody in the process or while in transfer, nobody can read it. Okay, that is the reason we trust the system. Ensures you are talking to the real server. How do you know whether it is real person or some other person or even server? Okay, that is ensured by, again, cryptography. Enables secure communication online. So basically the security purpose, why you are trusting the bank, because they are secured. All right, in simple words, why we are trusting government websites, because they are secured. Again, that is different. That exceptional case will be there where hackers will be hacking the whole system and all. That is altogether different, but somewhere we do trust the whole system. All right, so next is purpose of cryptography. The CIA triad that I have already explained you, it is a principle that it follows, that it have to have confidentiality, it have to have integrity and authenticity. What do you mean by confidentiality? That it should be secret. Whenever you are sending some kind of information, that should be secret between the client and the server. Okay, next is integrity, that whatever you are sending should be complete. It should not be 90% or 99%, it should be 100%. The integrity. Authenticity verifies the actual identity. Okay, whether are you sending to the right person, can you trust that website? So all those are done by the cryptography. That is the principle is CIA triad, very important concept. Okay, everyday use of cryptography. Let's see. First, to log in, whether you are logging in any website, the cryptography concept is being used. SSH connection, whether you want to connect to remotely to someone. Online banking, file downloading, everywhere it is being used. So you cannot deny this particular subject, whether you are from this field or from other field. It is very important for you to understand how the internet works or how the system is being secured. Okay, you should be having the natural curiosity to understand what is the algorithm, what is the formula that is behind all this security. All right, so real world standards, there are some standards that needs to be followed. Okay, there are some rules or protocols that needs to be followed. What are those? While secures credit card data, PCI DSS is a standard that is being followed when you are dealing with credit card. Data must be encrypted as rest and in motion. This is a principle. What they follows is, while you are sending something, the data, basically it should be encrypted, and while in rest also, in the server, in the client server, whatever, wherever it is in the rest, it should be secured and it should be encrypted. So while in healthcare standards, there are HIPAA, high tech, that are being used by USA, GDPR by Europe, then DPA by UK. Okay, all these are different standards that are being used by different regions in order to encrypt their data. Okay, next, so we have understood the principles and why and what is cryptography. Now let's come back to the basic terminologies that are important in cryptography. There are 5 to 6 terminologies that we need to understand. First is plain text. What do you mean by plain text? That is nothing but simple raw data, whatever format it is, in the image format, in the text format, in the video format, audio format, anything it can be. That is your plain text. Now you need to send that using encrypted. Okay, you have to encrypt it first. So how can you encrypt that? It is nothing but the process is called encryption, and that encryption will be done by a variable. Okay, that is known as key variable. Okay, crypto variable. Okay, once you encrypt, then it becomes ciphertext. It is no more plain text. Now it became ciphertext. Now that ciphertext is of no use if someone gets it, because it have to encrypt it in order to read it. So how do you encrypt it? The process is called decryption. Okay, and again it requires that crypto variable, again a key, secret key, which is needed in order to decrypt it. So this is the overall terminology that you need to know. What are the terminologies? First is plain text, that is original readable data. Okay, next is ciphertext, encrypted unreadable data. Once you are converting, then it becomes ciphertext, that is encrypted unreadable version. Next is cipher, the algorithm that is being used to encrypt or decrypt. Key, what is the key? Key is the secret value that is needed in order to encrypt and decrypt. Encryption converts plain text to ciphertext, decryption reverse ciphertext to plain text. It is vice versa. Okay, next, important notes. Ciphers are public algorithms. So these are the public algorithm. It is not a hidden algorithm that someone can use. These are public algorithm. Everybody knows the algorithm, but the key must remain secret. If everybody knows the key, then they also can read the particular message. So key have to be secret. Except public keys and asymmetric encryption. There are two types of, again, symmetric, asymmetric, that we will see in the coming slides. Without the correct key, decryption is infeasible. If you don't have the key, then you cannot decrypt it. Okay, because algorithm is public. If you have the key, then only you can encrypt it. Okay, that is known as the whole concept of ciphers. Okay, algorithm. Now let's see how the history about cryptography, a glimpse into history. Cryptography dates back to 1900 BC. It started back then. Now it is not the new technology or new subject that we are dealing with. It is back then also people were always concerned about the security, how to communicate during the process of communication. Okay, how to keep secure, that is the major problem back then also. So cryptography dates back to 1900 BC. One of the simplest early ciphers, Caesar cipher, CEASER cipher. Okay, this is the one of the simplest cipher that are being used by Julius Caesar to send secret messages. Back then also people used to care about secret messages. So how they used to send? Caesar cipher, that is again used by Julius Caesar. All right, I hope you have understood. Next, let's try to understand what exactly it does. So there is a ABCD letter up to A to Z, and how they are encrypting is A will be converted to D. Basically A is mapped to D. How? What is the difference between A and D? B, C, D. So key must be 3. Okay, if you get the key 3, every letter that you are having your message will be shifting right side, so that basically 3 difference, so that if you know the key, then only you can decrypt it. Okay, so basically how it works, shift each letter right by a key number, that is 3. Example, Zenkaya is made CHQNDBBD. Why? Because Z is nothing but A, B, C. So it is again shifting. After Z, it will be connected to A. So Z will become A, B, C. So C. E will become H, E, F, G, H. Okay, like that all the letters are being used. Here the key is 3. That secret key is 3. If somebody knows the secret key, then they can easily find out. Wrap around alphabet after Z starts again in A. Okay, but the disadvantage here is it is only having 26 combinations. After that, it have to repeat it again, as because there are 26 letters. Okay, it repeats again. That is the disadvantage of Caesar cipher. Decryption, how do you decrypt? It is basically, for encryption you went to right side, now for decryption you have to go left side. Okay, so CHQ and DBBD will be Zenkaya. Why? C will be C, you have to go back, B, A and Z. Okay, that is how you decrypt it. It is very simple in nature. Okay, so types of encryption are there. There are two types of encryption, as I told you, symmetric and asymmetric. Let us understand what are symmetric and asymmetric. So symmetric encryption, how it works, it will be having the same key while you are encrypting and while you are decrypting. The key will be used will be same. Okay, same key used for encryption and decryption, also called private key cryptography. Private key cryptography, it is known as. Key must remain secret and securely shared. When you are sharing the message, you should not share the key itself, otherwise anyone having the key can open the message. Okay, that is the drawback or disadvantage of this particular. Symmetric encryption, see, look at the diagram. There are two characters in cryptography world, that is Alice and Bob. These are very popular terms or the characters that are being used. Alice will send the message to Bob while it is being encrypted. Here shared secret key, both key will be same for encryption and decryption. So you can see the diagram here, and Bob will receive the encrypted version by just using the shared key. It can read the plain text. Okay, this is how it is being used. Real world example, symmetric encryption challenge. Okay, so what is the challenge? Imagine you are sending an email to your friend. Okay, so you can email the encrypted file, but how do you share the password? How do you share? You cannot share the password along with the email. Imagine you have encrypted and you are sending the key. So anybody have the key and password can easily read your message. That is the real problem. Both the encrypted document and the password are exposed. If intercepted, the encryption is useless. Okay, that is the real world challenge. So basically what you need to do, if you are sending the encrypted file, you have to send the key through a secret way, in such a way that it cannot be shared with other people. Okay, only you and the receiver should be having that key. That is the challenge in symmetric encryption. Now what are the examples? Some example, let's see. DES, 3DES, AES. DES is adopted in 1977. Key size is 56 bits. Here size is very important. Okay, broken in 1999 in less than 24 hours. Back then 1999, no longer considered secure, so it is not being used anymore because it is not secured. 3DES, so again advanced version of DES has been introduced in 1999. The size is 168 bits. It is effectively secured compared to DES 112 bits, depreciated in 2019 again, as because, but still it is in legacy use. Many systems use this particular algorithm, that is 3DES. Now the newer version came into place, that is AES algorithm, that has been introduced in 2001. The sizes are 128, 192 and 256 bits. Modern standard, highly secured and widely adopted, that you need to know. Okay, we will look into this algorithm in the coming videos. Okay, so for now we have to understand example of symmetric encryption are DES, 3DES and AES. Alright, so how it works, it uses two keys basically, symmetric, asymmetric. Now comes asymmetric, it uses two keys, public key and private key. Public key for encryption, private key for decryption, also known as public key cryptography. That one is known as private key cryptography. Asymmetric encryption, so you can see the diagram again. Alice is sending through Bob's public key and again decrypted through Bob's private key. Okay, this is the diagram of overall understanding of symmetric and asymmetric. Now anyone can encrypt a message using the public key. Public key may be there with anybody. They can also encrypt, but decryption can only be done using the private key. That is the main term or difference of symmetric and asymmetric key. So some examples are RSA, Diffie-Hellman, ECC. Okay, so RSA consists of all these are sizes 204830724096 bit. Diffie-Hellman, elliptical curve cryptography, strongly secured with shorter keys. Okay, so based on problem used to compute in one direction, it is infeasible to reverse. Okay, reverse is not possible. Example, factoring large primes. Okay, now let us understand, these are some examples, or these are the few applications that are being used in asymmetric that we will see in the next class. Now, mathematical foundation of cryptography, let us understand through mathematics. Okay, we have understood a lot of theory, now let's come to a little bit practically how it is being used. So two modern fundamental operations, mathematical operations, are being used. What are those? XOR and modulo. If you see the modern internet, it is totally based on the past, research on mathematical operation. Mathematical is the always the foundation of coding or the internet world. Okay, without maths we cannot even think of coding or the whole internet itself. XOR and modulo, why they are so important, let us see and understand how they help in the modern encryption or decryption. Okay, this operation from the building blocks of many encryption algorithms. So XOR, how it works? If it is different, then answer is 1. If both are same, then answer is 0. Okay, so that is, it represents by plus symbol and the circle or cap. Okay, these are the operators that are being used to use XOR. Next is XOR properties. What are the properties of XOR? Commutative and associative. What are those? A XOR B equal to B XOR A, that we have seen already in class 11 and 12. Associative, A XOR B bracket plus XOR C equal to A XOR B XOR C. Okay, A, B, C, both sides are equal. You can just adjust whatever you are doing. Okay, that is known as associative. So here the formula is A XOR A equal to 0, both are same, 0, both are different, A. Okay, that is its own property. Next example, you can see 1011 XOR 1100 becomes 0110. Okay, that is an example. Simple encryption example, let's say P is plain text, K is secret key, and C is ciphertext. So how do you, if you know plain text and key, can't you get ciphertext? Yes, you can get ciphertext. P XOR key. Okay, P XOR key will be C. Now if you know ciphertext and key, can't you find out plain text? Yes, you can find out plain text. Okay, this is the actual algorithm that are being used in this encryption method. Now modulo, how it is being used, let us understand. So imagine there are two numbers x and y. X is the larger number, y is the divisor that you are using to divide it. Okay, the answer is quite amazing, that it is 25. If you divide it by 5, the remainder will always be lesser than the number itself, the divisor. So if I am talking about 25 and 5, the remainder will always be 0 to 4. How? 25 divided by 5 modulo, the remainder is 0, as because it is divisible. 26, it is 1, remainder is 1. 27, 2. 28, 3. 24, 9. 20, 30, again it becomes 0. So you can see it follows a pattern that if you are having the divisor and if you are having the number, the remainder will always be y minus 1, basically the number minus 1. Okay, that is what result is always between 0 and y minus 1. But the reverse is not true. The reverse, that is, it is not reversible. How? Because if you don't know the x, basically x is the number, modulo 5, 5 is the divisor equal to 4. 4 is the remainder. So what is x then? X can have infinite numbers. How? Imagine here you are dividing 4 modulo 5. What is 4 modulo 5? It is, remainder is 4 because it is not divisible. 9 modulo 5. What is 9 modulo 5? Again modulo, answer is 4. 13 or 14 modulo 5. What is the remainder? 4. 19 modulo 5. Answer is 4. So it can have an infinite numbers. It can't be reversed. If you know a divisor and if you know the remainder, you can't find out the actual number. Okay, that is its whole gist of the conclusion of the how modulo is being used. Okay, so these are the basic foundations of mathematical operation. As I always say that maths is very important, and using the maths you are building the whole internet of internet world. Okay, so with this we have completed the first class. I hope you have enjoyed this class and you got some knowledge on cryptography. In the next class we'll go in depth and we'll try to understand what are the different algorithms are being used and how they are used. Okay, so that's it, and thank you for watching, and do not forget to share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for the love.